Good morning, class. Good morning, class. Everybody find your seats, please. Thank you. Find your seats, grab your coffee, grab your notes. Dr. Professor Geno here, giving today's lecture. Now, today's lecture, ladies and gentlemen, is on none other than Charlie Munger. God rest his soul. This man, partner of a little bit more famous Warren Buffett, has some really good wisdom that I would like to share with you all. It has certainly helped me, Dr. Professor Geno, on my wealth building career. And especially for you youngins out there, I think this will be of special interest. Okay. So now, what did Charlie Munger have to say about wealth building or investing or anything like this? Well, back in 1986, he gave an address to Harvard. We all know Harvard, very prestigious, on June 13th. And what Charlie said was kind of the opposite of what you would expect, some sort of a motivational or advice-focused lecture for all the college graduates. I don't remember if it's a commencement address or something else, but something similar for sure. And Charlie did not do that. Instead, he gave them all the blueprint on how to live a miserable life. He told them exactly how to live a miserable life. Now, why would he do that? You ask me, class. Great question. You're on top of your stuff today this morning. Well, Charlie Munger loved this concept called inversion. Imagine you're dividing by -1, right? So instead of chasing the outcome you're looking for, you are instead avoiding the pitfalls and kind of happening upon the success you were looking for. What does he mean? How do you do that? Why is it useful? All great questions. You guys were really on top of it this morning. So going into Charlie's speech, it's very simple, right? How do you live a miserable life? Well, you'd probably start by never taking any responsibility for anything in your life. Blame everything on everyone else. That's a very good start. If you do that, you're almost guaranteed to start your misery journey. And the next one is spend every dollar that ever comes in. As soon as you get it, spend it. The more frivolous you spend it on, the better, right? The less it means, the money that you spent, the better you will be at producing misery. Make sure you destroy all your family relationships. Never find a loving relationship. And if you have one, immediately destroy that as well. Make sure you do not have a safe place to live. Make sure you're eating the worst of foods and that you're, prioritizing your unhappiness. And make sure you have no faith whatsoever in any religion, that you have no worldview and it's just general pessimism. Make sure you stick to that because that'll be sure to give you the most misery in life. And he goes down and down and on this list and on this list. And some of these I've paraphrased, right? Not all of them was from Charlie Munger. Some of this is Dr. Professor Geno. But the point therein being, in telling them how to live a miserable life, Charlie Munger was getting through to their thick skulls how they can actually live a wonderful life. Any student sitting in that assembly, or anybody that's read his speech since then, it's been 40 years, and yet the concept stands, can say, well, how do I live a good life? Well, to live a miserable life, I should just blame everyone else for everything and never take any responsibility. So to live a happy and fulfilled life, maybe I should not blame everyone else for everything, and maybe I should take personal responsibility. What? That's crazy. And instead of spending every dollar that comes in order to ensure I'd be miserable, maybe I should save some of that and invest it. And maybe I should take care of my body. And maybe I should have a good community and upkeep my family relationships and my significant other's relationships or my wife, right? Okay. And yet somehow the inversion is more striking, right? Because we hear about it less. It's almost like a logical tool, almost, that Charlie Munger can use in analyzing different things in his life and has to great success. He calls it a mental model in a lattice of mental models he applies to investments. And we can get into the other mental models that Charlie Munger and Warren Buffett have derived when looking at an investment, but this is probably one of the most important ones. And I think it was his favorite. The inversion principle, right? So, class, good morning. Have some coffee. What does this all have to do with us here at Wealth Creation College? Well, I'm going to apply the inversion principle to teach you how to build wealth. Crazy, but here we go. Can you guess what they're going to be? All right. Step number 1, treat everything money-wise and financial as if it only belongs to you, only will ever belong to you, and you will never use for anyone else's benefit ever for the rest of your life. Make sure you're selfish with your money. That is a great way to not build wealth. That is a great way to be miserable with your money, right? Instead of teaching you how to build wealth with these tips, I'm going to teach you how to not build wealth, all right? If you want to stay poor all your life, listen to this. If you want to stay miserable all your life, listen to this. If you want to be bad with money for the rest of your life, listen to this, because I'm going to teach you exactly how to do those things right now. Ready? Be selfish with your money. We already covered that one. Number 2, spend every dollar that comes in. Never save anything. I don't care if it's $1 coming from work or somebody handed you a tenner or whatever it could be. Immediately spend that. And again, the more frivolous, the better. Don't spend it on stuff that lasts. Don't spend it on things that are useful. Spend it on stuff that isn't useful and doesn't last, right? Maybe you got a big bonus at work. Great. Go and eat way out of your league, or buy a nice car and crash it, or something that's not going to last. Go gamble it. Even better. Pick up gambling. Definitely pick up gambling, class. Definitely pick up gambling, and ideally go into debt to continue to gamble beyond what you currently have in your own bank account, right? Of course, class, never invest. Never invest, because if you invest, you have the risk that your money grows, okay? And we can't have that if we need you to stay broke and you want to stay broke. So never invest. Don't touch any investment tools. Don't learn about anything in investments. Don't read any of the books. Don't listen to any of the people. Don't take any of the courses. Don't ever try it. Don't even invest a single dollar, ever, because you need to stay broke and miserable, and doing that might bring you out of being broke and miserable, okay? So don't do it. Number 5, definitely keep blaming other people for all of your professional and financial mistakes. It's not my fault the market went down. It's not my fault that the market skyrocketed. Everyone told me it was going to go down. I should have sold at the top, but you know what? I wrote it down because someone else told me, and it's all rigged. It's all rigged. That's a good one. Think that everything is out to get you financially. My business partner's trying to screw me over. The stock market's manipulated and I can't make any money there. And nobody wants to promote me at work because everybody hates me. Make sure you think these things and really internalize them. Make sure that you actually believe them in your core of self, right? Let everyone else make all your important decisions for you, all right? You need to have no agency. No agency. And if you don't know what that is, go look at the other video. It talks about agency in depth. But to get back to the topic at hand, make sure you let everyone else decide everything for you in career, in money, and in life, right? Make sure they choose. You never chose anything. You didn't choose who you got married to. You didn't choose where you lived. You didn't choose what you worked on. You didn't choose what you did with the money. Make sure you just get pushed around with the tide. Make sure whatever anyone else decides, thinks, or suggests is what you do. Make sure you never decide anything yourself if you want to stay broke and miserable, okay? And we already covered gambling, so that's kind of the end of my list here on ways to stay miserable. So hopefully you've learned a lot on this class, and if I ask you now how to stay miserable with money and finances and how to stay broke, you're going to be pretty good at it as long as you follow these tips. If you deviate from these tips, you run the risk of making money and building wealth, okay? Of course, that's the magic behind Charlie's inversion principle, right? If we go line by line on these topics once again and say, okay, if we avoid this mistake, what are the odds we build wealth? Well, number 1 was make sure all your money's for you and that you're selfish with it. Well, if you invert that, right? Or you say, if I avoid that, if now I look at money as plentiful, if now I look at finances as a freedom machine instead of a negative light, if I look at it as something to be created for the sake of me, my family, and my community, or my greater family, right? Now it has a positive connotation, and now you have more of a motivation to actually make something worthwhile, right? Instead of just saying for me, me, and then when it stops feeling good for me, I'm no longer motivated to do anything with money. Now you're saying for us, for we, for my group, my tribe, my community, my faith, my immediate family, my parents, my parent-in-laws, my kids, my grandkids, my future generations, whatever. Suddenly you'll find a lot more motivation to keep learning, keep investing, and keep building, right? Number 2, spend every dollar that you get is a great way to stay broke. So maybe don't spend every dollar that you get. Maybe it's spend 30 cents of every dollar that you get, or 50 cents, or 60 cents, or whatever your life currently requires for you to be happy, doing the things that are important to you with your significant other or your family, right? But the answer is not spend every dollar. That's a good way to stay broke. Instead, you should save some portion of every dollar that comes in. $1,000 comes in, maybe you just save $300, $200, whatever you can, right? Number 3, get debt, bad debt, and gambling. So avoid gambling, obviously. And you would think I mean the casinos. And while I do mean the casinos, I don't just mean them. All right. There are crypto coins, there are meme coins, there are penny stocks, there are options, there's futures, there's leveraged positions, there's any number of ways to manipulate money that in and or around have varying degrees of risk, but at the end of the day are somewhat gambling. Why? Because it's on a defined time schedule and you have no guarantee about where that thing is going to go, as opposed to having a long-term investment time horizon. And you can say, well, I don't know where it's going in the meantime, but 10 years from now, this thing's probably going to be worth a lot more. And the odds are super high. That's investing. That's not speculating. The other stuff's speculating, right? Number 5, blame others. So instead of blaming everyone else for everything, it's the market's fault, it's rigged, nobody at work appreciates me, all this stuff is whack, right? It's all their fault and everybody's out to get me. Learn that internalizing those negative things into your life does nothing but perpetuate them. Look, I don't know if I'm Catholic, right? So for me, it's God. I don't know if it's because God designed the universe this way, or there's weird vibration things happening, or just people are attracted to positivity. But when you truly believe negative things about yourself, right, other people come to believe those things about you. It's like you have a cloud of pheromones hanging around you that are just depressive, right? If people don't want to be around you, nobody's going to hang out with you. People aren't going to want to teach you about money and investing. You're not going to get promoted. The point being, there's a lot of benefit in not having those internal negative things believed at your core. You got to believe you're the hero. You have to believe you're the hero. Stop believing that you're the victim, right? Agency, people. Which gets into number 6, agency. Don't let everyone else make the decisions for you. So if you want to avoid being broke and miserable, right, the advice was let everyone else make all the decisions for you if you would like to be broke and miserable. So the alternative of that is make the decisions yourself. Make the decisions yourself, all right? And I'm going to go into this in another video again with reference to agency. But for now, just remember, the more decisions you can make and you force the hand, the better off you're going to be. And that's the end of the list, right? Does that make sense? How inversion is a useful framework for thinking about succeeding? Because this wouldn't have had as much effort. It wouldn't have had as much punch with you, class, if I had just gone, here are 8 money tips for building wealth. No, it doesn't work that way, right? We were way more interested in learning about how to basically mess everything up and be broke. And we're like, wow, why is he teaching us how to be miserable? This is kind of weird. And yet you're probably going to remember all these things more. Hence the value of Charlie's inversion principle. Now, I use this often on a lot of things, right? Hey, I want to be really fit and healthy. Okay, how do you become really fat and unhealthy? You probably don't exercise, stay away from the gym, probably be super stressed, get poor sleep, get shitty nutrition, never take your vitamins, don't go see a doctor, don't get any sun, stay sedentary the whole day, don't move at all. And yeah, all that stuff's probably a really good start in order to be unhealthy, right? So then you think, okay, so if I want to invert that and be a healthy person, then it's probably I should be exercising generally throughout the day, walking around, not sitting for too long. I should probably be going to the gym. I should be eating right. I should spend time in the sun. I should be moving my muscles and working different muscle groups, et cetera, et cetera. And yet the other one is more striking to us because humans are so hardwired towards the negative. And that's why this tactic is so effective. Because we're wired to be sensitive to the negative, now those lessons stick with us that much more. So, Charlie Munger's inversion principle, class, that's what we've been talking about. If this made any sense to you, that's great. Leave a like, subscribe to Wealth Creation College here. I am Dr. Professor Geno, here to impart some measure of wisdom. How much? I mean, that's for you guys to decide. But we're at this pretty often. So if this was interesting to you guys, leave some comments below. For homework class, I need you to take an important decision that's coming up in your life or an important goal that you've been aspiring to. And instead of writing down what you need to do to achieve it, write down what you need to do to ensure you never achieve it, to ensure you never even get close, right? Invert it. You guys want to be a great mom, a great dad, you want to build wealth, you want to do whatever, figure out how to be the worst dad in the world. Figure out how to be the worst mom in the world. Figure out how to stay broke forever, right? And in doing so, you are going to find a lot of answers, and those answers are going to stick with you a lot better. So stick around for more lectures. This is Dr. Professor Geno at Wealth Creation College. Class dismissed.